And we are back. So, where were we?
We were in 2012, but you want to talk about the formation of the two teams?
Yes. With this whole thing with AJ Lee and Daniel Bryan, that did cause Daniel Bryan to sort of go a bit cuckoo.
Yes, and he says, I do not have anger management issues.
And he would have a sort of rival, weird relationship with Kane.
Yes, which would form a tag team of Team Hell No.
Yes, and they would eventually become tag team champions, where they would be like, I'm the tag team champions.
No, I'm the tag team champions.
They would
that good stuff.
Yes, and then they would eventually learn to hug it out.
Thanks to help from Dr. Shelby. But also, this year was very memorable for a very famous faction.
Yes, at Survivor Series 2012.
Yes.
In a triple threat WWE Championship match between John Cena, CM Punk, and Ryback, because Ryback had been feuding with CM Punk over the championship and was undefeated.
Yes.
Into the low blow from Brad Maddox.
Literally a low blow.
But during this triple threat match at Survivor Series, a certain faction from NXT, which at this point was turned from a reality show to a developmental brand of wrestling.
Pretty much.
3 superstars would come up, known in the first NXT champion, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, aka He Who Must Not Be Named, and Roman Reigns.
The 3 would attack Ryback and destroy and put him through the announce table with the infamous triple powerbomb.
And they would go, known as The Shield,
in Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta.
So that pretty much sums up what we remember for 2012.
Now move on to 2013.
As we mentioned, it was revealed on the Raw 1000 that The Rock would challenge whoever the WWE champion was.
And obviously that was CM Punk.
Yes, because CM Punk had survived yet again with a little bit of help from the Shield.
Yes.
But so we had The Rock versus CM Punk. The Shield attempted to get involved in this and basically cost
you the championship.
Yes. Vince McMahon, however, had stipulated that if the Shield got involved, he would strip CM Punk of the championship. However, technically, because the lights were down, we didn't see the Shield.
Technically, you're right.
However, The Rock grabs the microphone and says,
well, you grab the microphone and say,
he's not going to take the title like that. Restart the match.
And Vince agrees.
So the match is restarted. The Rock gets into the ring. Punk is going for a GTS. Counted into a spinebuster. People's Elbow. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we have a new WWE champion.
In what would have been his 8th reign as WWE champion.
Correct.
Then we had the Royal Rumble match,
which was won at the time
by John Cena,
which would then set up a WrestleMania 29 match for the WWE Championship between the two men.
A rematch. However, The Rock did have to go through CM Punk one more time
in order to get another shot.
At Elimination Chamber, when CM Punk had a rematch in which if The Rock had been counted out or disqualified, he would have lost the WWE Championship.
Correct.
And despite the best efforts of CM Punk and his associate Paul Heyman at the time,
that didn't happen.
Yes, which would go into WrestleMania.
It indeed would.
First of all, The Rock would say after that the WWE Championship looks like a toy and should never spin.
And therefore, you introduced a new-looking WWE Championship.
Relatively the same design as we have now, except it was slightly different at the time.
Yes.
Also, at WrestleMania weekend, we had the now President of the United States of America inducted into the Hall of Fame.
In Donald Trump.
He was inducted along with Bruno Sammartino.
Yep.
And a few other names.
What happening this year was
The Shield would have their debut match at WrestleMania, defeating
and win that.
Yes. In a shocking match, or defeat I should say, Fandango, who we mentioned earlier, would defeat Chris Jericho.
And I believe this was the year that Paige was called up to the main roster.
You're a year earlier than that.
Oh yes, I'm a year too early. No, ignore that, delete that.
CM Punk was furious that he didn't have a challenge at WrestleMania.
Yes, literally very furious.
That was until he ran into The Undertaker.
But, yeah. And then something tragic happened in the build-up to this match.
The death.
That WWE would very controversially use in the storyline.
And that would be the death of Paul Bearer.
Yes, even at one point they had Paul Heyman dressed as Paul Bearer, which was probably one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen in terms of WWE.
We also have yet another match between Triple H and Brock Lesnar.
In which this time, though, Triple H would have the upper hand.
Yes, with a little bit of help from Shawn Michaels.
Yes, and a sledgehammer, as it still says.
Yes, then we get to the main event.
Between you and Cena for the WWE Championship.
And it was, what did it take? 3, I believe it was? AU?
Yes.
Did I say AUs? Did I say AUs? I mean AAs.
Yes.
To keep the lockdown for the 3 count, which means that every 3 times The Rock,
to keep you down.
3 times The Rock has walked into WrestleMania as WWE Champion and lost.
Yeah. Which was unfortunately bad news for The Rock. And also during the match, you also sustained an injury.
Yes, which is why, which was supposedly the reason that they didn't build to a Rock Lesnar match, which was rumoured to be supposed to happen at WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
Moving on slightly, the night after WrestleMania,
yes,
Dolph Ziggler would cash in Money in the Bank to become World Heavyweight Champion.
Much to the delight of the Raw After Mania crowd.
Yes, because that crowd just doesn't know what the hell they want.
It's an international crowd, don't forget.
As that didn't last long because Del Rio would turn heel and then quickly get the championship back.
Yeah.
As we moved through to the summer, Randy Orton would win the Money in the Bank.
Yes, I would.
On the Raw side. The SmackDown side would be won by Damien Sandow.
Who then tried to cash in on John Cena.
Oh, we'll get to that in a moment.
Oh yes, I'm getting ahead of myself.
At SummerSlam, John Cena, who had a injury he had to go away and deal with, would lose the WWE Championship to Daniel Bryan, only for the special guest referee, Triple H, to turn around and pedigree him.
Singling the start of what would soon be the most hated faction in WWE, what's best for business.
The Authority, which caused CM Punk, what am I talking about? Randy Orton to come in and grab the title. Also, CM Punk would go on and face Brock Lesnar in a fairly entertaining match.
Yeah.
But then we go to Hell in a Cell, I believe it was, when John Cena would make his return from the injury.
Yes.
To challenge Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. And John Cena would win the World Heavyweight Championship from Del Rio.
He would.
After this, as was previously stated, Mr. Sandow, who had a wooden briefcase at this point, would attempt to cash in on John Cena. But
unfortunately for Sandow,
he did not.
Which would make him the second person to unsuccessfully cash in Money in the Bank.
Then we go to TLC, well, Survivor Series first of all.
Yeah.
In which we had Randy Orton taking on the Big Show. Because I believe we were close to the point where the Big Show was begging people for stuff.
Yeah.
The Wyatt family would make an appearance at this time as well.
After being called up from NXT.
Bray Wyatt had briefly been known as Husky Harris in the new version of the Nexus. Of course, what he's known as now we'll get to
in later years.
But also here we had in this here we had the Shield. They took the United States. Dean Ambrose took the United States Championship from.
Again, a superstar that we, aka the man who must not be named.
Was the United States champion from Cody Kingston. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins took the tag team titles from Team Hell No.
Yeah.
They would lose those titles to the team of someone else who really shouldn't be named. But let's just say Rhodes and Dust.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
But
yeah.
That was also controversial. But at the end of the year, the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships would be combined
to become
the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and the big gold belt World Heavyweight Championship was retired.
Yes, it was, after many years of service.
10 to be exact, more or less.
Yes.
So, now we go on to 2014.
2014 coming right up.
Batista would resurface in WWE in 2014.
He would.
And win the Royal Rumble match. Not too thrilled with the crowd.
No, because the crowd wanted Roman Reigns to win.
What are you talking about if they wanted Roman Reigns to win?
Because I remember watching this pay-per-view.
Between the two people, yes, between the two people who in the Rumble match they wanted Reigns, but who they really wanted was Daniel Bryan.
But Daniel Bryan got eliminated from the match.
Yes. And this is where the Yes movement really stepped into gear.
Oh, yes.
Because there was a point where literally it's almost like the entire crowd would occupy the ring.
Yes, it's something we haven't seen in ages. Or never seen.
Which would then lead into the main event of WrestleMania being changed into a triple threat match. First, Daniel Bryan had to defeat Triple H. Then he would do the Miracle of Bourbon Street and win the World Heavyweight Championship at the main event of WrestleMania 30, hosted by Hulk Hogan.
Who infamously said the wrong name of the arena.
Yes, the Silverdome in his opening promo, who was then interrupted by Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And you.
Who was then interrupted by Evil Rock, probably the best opening to WrestleMania in the world.
We've ever seen.
This was also the time that the WWE Network was being launched.
And also this was the time where infamous history was made.
Yes. 21-0 would die.
Thanks to Brock, thanks to what my colleague would now say.
Brock Lesnar
would snap the streak, sending shockwaves through the WWE universe.
Unfortunately for Daniel Bryan, he would have to relinquish the championship due to injury. Like 2 months after holding it for 2 months.
Yes.
But Despite Triple H, on the other hand, had his own little issue to deal with. Because the night after Raw, he tried to take the title. Only to be denied by the Shield.
Oh yeah.
This would cause a reformation of Evolution.
Yes, in what was one of the most deadest reactions from the WWE Raw crowd that we've seen in a long, long time.
There would be 2 pay-per-view matches between Evolution and the Shield. The Shield would come victorious. However,
the second victory came at a price for the Shield, but because they made one of the Evolution members walk out the company.
Yes, Batista would, for the second time, walk out of WWE.
But also, another moment will go down in history, as my colleague will now explain regarding the Shield.
Yes, because Triple H is a man with a plan.
As he infamously said, there's always
a plan B. And that Seth Rollins would bash Roman Reigns with a chair, and then go after Dean.
Dean must not be named. To join the Authority and effectively ending the Shield as a faction.
Going off to the championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship was going to be decided in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Yes, you heard me right.
A Money in the Bank ladder match.
In which John Cena would recapture the championship.
He would indeed.
However, he would not hold it very long, because at SummerSlam in 2014, WWE witnessed what was essentially the most one-sided match and beatdown that there has ever been.
Yes, Brock Lesnar would literally dominate the match.
And hit a total of what I believe was
12 German suplexes or something like that.
Close to that. Also, we'll backtrack a couple of months to the night after WrestleMania to talk about the women, or shall I say, divas.
Yes.
AJ Lee had dominated the divas division for 200 and something days.
That isn't... Well, she was in the middle of cutting a promo in front of the Raw After Mania crowd when she was interrupted by NXT Women's Champion Paige.
Yes. And she would come out, basically talk a little bit, congratulate her, only to be challenged to a championship match by
AJ Lee after slapping Paige in the face.
AJ Lee, I was under the impression that it was Zelina Lee.
Oh, of course, a reference to a movie we'll get onto later.
Yes, because Paige would hit the Paige Turner after an attempted Black Widow.
1, 2, 3.
New Divas champion on the on the first attempt of doing so, and this whole journey would be turned into a film produced by Dwayne Johnson,
aka yours truly. Not me, my colleague.
So yes, at Night of Champions 2014,
yes,
Brock Lesnar was a moment away from losing the championship back to John Cena, only to be disqualified by Seth Rollins, who had cast in Money in the Bank. Who had not cast in, spoiler alert.
Oh, yes.
Who had won Money in the Bank and decided to get involved.
Yes.
2014 saw Seth Rollins have a rivalry with Dean, who must not be named.
Yes, he did, and that was a very long, intense rivalry.
Including Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And at Survivor Series, there was a Team Cena versus Team Authority match, in which if Team Cena
lost,
if Team Cena
himself would have been fired,
and if Team Authority lost, they would be removed from power. So Dolph Ziggler, I mean Triple H would attempt everything to keep his power, including get corrupt referee Scott Armstrong involved.
Or, as back then, as you and me were saying it when we were still at college, that little referee.
But despite that, Seth Rollins was so left in the ring. He was about to pick up the win with a little bit of help from Triple H.
When the lights went out and we heard a crow sound.
Yes. A man who's made his name in WCW, then moved on to a little company called TNA.
But again, we will not mention that company's name again, we swear.
Would come out and help Team Cena win the match, setting up a feud going into WrestleMania the following year.
And what would then follow would be some big matches in Sting's career.
Yes, then we go into 2015.
Yes, 2015, coming right up now in our time machine. There it is.
Roman Reigns would win the Royal Rumble match.
Much to the giant booing that was happening in Philadelphia.
Yes, because they wanted Daniel Bryan. Even The Rock could not get the cheers for Reigns, which is saying a lot. Then we moved on to WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt would be dumb enough to call out The Undertaker.
In what would be a very costly mistake.
The Monday Night Wars of WCW and WWE would come to WrestleMania.
31 in Santa Clara.
When DX and the NWO both got involved in the match between Triple H and Sting.
Yes.
Speaking of the NWO, Hulk Hogan would disappear from all WWE records in 2015 due to some
scandal that he was involved in.
Yes.
But also at WrestleMania, we also saw the heist of the century.
Yes. During the main event,
between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship,
Seth Rollins would come crashing down and attempt and win and steal the title virtually.
Literally from.
He would go on to have a few little title matches,
including one infamous segment that happened during a pay-per-view in which my colleague would say, "Why couldn't you just have waited a little bit longer?
Yes, a battleground. Seth Rollins would was about to lose the title back to Lesnar when there was a 1-2 gun.
Lights went out, and my colleague reacted with.
It was only had the Undertaker making an appearance, wanting to avenge his loss of the previous year.
To which my colleague reacted with, couldn't you just have waited a little bit earlier?
A tiny bit longer. Yes. During this period as well, John Cena, who won the United States Championship at WrestleMania,
yes,
was doing an open challenge and was confronted by then NXT champion KO.
Yes, and what would be one of the biggest wins in Kevin Owens' career.
Yes. Then we moved on to the SummerSlam area.
Yes.
And during this, well, first of all, we go to Japan, in which Finn Balor would win the
NXT title in the Beast from the East pay-per-view.
Yes. During this time period, the Women's Revolution was born.
Yes.
In which
Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair,
and Sasha Banks were called up to the main roster.
And they made a statement by attacking the Bella Twins and Alicia Fox.
Yes, Team PCB, Paige, Charlotte, and Becky. Then there was Team Bad with
Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina.
And there was Andra Bellas.
Team Bella, Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, and Alicia Fox.
Yes. Then there was a slight issue here, though, because Sasha Banks was still the NXT champion.
At the time.
Women's champion, I should say. So we go to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
Oh, yes.
In what was quite possibly the best women's match I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
And one of the best TakeOver matches. Bayley defeats Sasha Banks to become the NXT Women's Champion. They would have a rematch at NXT TakeOver Respect in what was the first ever women's Iron Man match.
Making history once again.
Then we go to SummerSlam.
Oh yes, again, SummerSlam.
SummerSlam Brooklyn, we have a problem. Lesnar and Taker going at it one more time.
Yes.
With a little bit of technical submission involved in the controversial win by The Undertaker. Also, Seth Rollins decided that one championship wasn't enough.
So he decided to go for two.
Yes, with a little bit of help from who was it? Jon Stewart.
The famous talk show host in America.
John Cena would lose the United States Championship to Seth Rollins.
Making Seth Rollins the WWE World Heavyweight Champion and the United States Champion, which didn't sit well with Sting.
Yeah, because technically at Night of Champions, it specifically said every championship must be defended. So,
Yes.
we go to a John Cena has a rematch for the United States Championship, whilst Sting challenges Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
But unfortunately for Sting, this would be his final match in WWE because of one mistake that Seth Rollins did.
Yeah, the buckle bomb. Unfortunately, it would be a mistake repeated a year later, but I will explain why.
Yes.
John Cena would win back the United States Championship, only to lose it to Del Rio. That's a different story. As we went on to the end of the year, unfortunately Seth Rollins would pick up a knee injury,
Yes.
which would keep him out for the rest of 2015 and most of 2016.
Yes.
So,
We now move on to
at Survivor Series, rather than have their Survivor Series elimination matches, a tournament was set up to crown the new champion. The final
yes.
was Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose.
And the winner of that was Dean, who should not be named.
Yeah,
The winner of that match was Roman Reigns, but however, something sinister would happen.
yes. Sheamus would cash in Money in the Bank when Triple H tried to extend his hand.
But then Roman Reigns goes, you know what, Triple H? Eat a Superman punch for your efforts.
But then Reigns would also eat a spear. Road kick, and win the championship, only to lose it back to Roman Reigns after TLC. Also at Survivor Series, Bray Wyatt decided that it would be a very good idea to poke the Brothers of Destruction.
Words from me and my colleague Ray, that was back then. Dumb move.
Yeah. So in 2015, it was 25 years of The Undertaker.
It was 25 years ago to the day that The Undertaker first debuted in the company.
Well, not to the day, but to the event.
Yes.
So that pretty much sums up 2015. As we
now
get
on to 2016.
As we get going to 2016, we'll be back momentarily, but so
I'm just doing some matches in the meantime. Fire Pro.
2016, we had a little bit of a standout moment. It was slightly affected by the fact that we had a few injuries to key people, Seth Rollins, John Cena, to name but a few.
And so on and so forth.
Of course, we go to the Royal Rumble.
We do. And of course, the wrestling world was suddenly shocked by the sudden passing of China.
Yes, she who must not be named in WWE because of
what she's done in her past.
Yes. But
it was the year that we lost Mr. Fuji as well.
Vince McMahon decided to get involved with Roman Reigns, which would then, of course, cause just a little bit of trouble with the rest of the McMahons.
Oh, yes.
And which would then lead into the Royal Rumble,
Yes.
in which we will get into what happened at the Royal Rumble momentarily.